Has my mind been set upon by shadows? I thought you dead.
Can't imagine why you think that. I've only been gone 4 years.
Oh, back from your little saunter then, are you? Head all cleared? I must say, you took quite the perambulation. I hope you didn't wear out your rotation adapters. And who precisely are you? Another Earth Directorate cast-off? I hope not for your sake. Niles doesn't have the best history of looking after his friends.
Bring that boil down to a simmer, Zeb. This is my commander, one who was with me at Horizon Point.
So, you are keeping company these days. Just not mine. That would depend on what vision you have for Arcadia's future. Everyone seems to think they alone know what's best for this colony.
Look, I'm not just here to gas you up with empty apologies. I want to set things right between us.
Oh, now you want to help. Where were you when the war happened? Or when I was being carted off to mental refreshment? Where were you when I actually needed you?
I know I let you down before, but give me a chance to earn back your trust. There must be something I can lend you a hand with. I know you haven't given up the fight.
I haven't the time to patch your bleeding conscience, Niles. I'm in a situation that demands my full attention.
It's Baines. My team's been caught. Pharaoh and March are dead. Protectorate are holding the rest for interrogation. A ship is inbound to take us off-world, to the Consul himself. I barely managed to evade capture. Damn it! It looks like the data went through, but there's something wrong with the connection. The cipher isn't transmitting.
Found her! You there! Step away from that terminal at once!
Audra? Fuck! It's all coming apart. That was one of my operatives. I organized a mission to infiltrate the Vox to acquire valuable intelligence. But obviously, something's gone wrong. Without that cipher, the intelligence is worthless. But I'm more concerned about my people at the moment. If you're sincere in your desire to help, prove it. Rescue my friends before that ship departs with them on board. Please. It has to do with the location of a vault rumored to house the Protectorate's greatest technological advancements, including its skip drive designs. That's all I'll say for now.
I am. Without question.
Okay. If they're sending a ship, that means my people are being held on the Vox's landing pad. Use my call sign so they'll know you for an ally. I'm certain Niles remembers it. And do exercise discretion, as well as caution. The guards at the Vox won't hesitate to fire upon you, should you be discovered.
Not to worry. This is exactly the sort of thing we're trained to handle.
Yes, but the uniform doesn't stop bullets, as I'm sure you recall.
Good thing we know a doctor then.
I'll answer what I can. If you must know, it was my sister. A neighbor reported her for some misconduct and she was taken to be refreshed. I never heard what her alleged crime was meant to be. The woman who returned was nigh unrecognizable. The injustice of it rattled me. And once I began to look into what had happened, the more discomfort I felt. Then I met Niles. He told me the truth about other colonies. Made Arcadia feel so small, claustrophobic, repressive. And my smoldering resentments became a full conflagration. Stop there. I know what you would ask, but I've done my best to put that unpleasant experience behind me. Please respect my wish to avoid reopening closed wounds. The Crabbles? They keep people away who might otherwise stumble into my operation here. I feel kindly toward them. Of course. Hogarth and his unfortunate charges would be top of mind if you've explored the nearby settlement. I sympathize with the plight of those in Westport. They want nothing to do with me, of course, or anyone outside the Sovereign's grace, which has been to my benefit. I do believe that one day, the truth of the Protector's iniquity will be too obvious to ignore. But for now, not even a crowbar could pry open all those shut eyes.
Seeing Zeb again went different than I expected. Not that I had high hopes for tears and confetti, but damn. That's appreciated, Commander. Maybe I ought to apologize straight away. But I'm not convinced I did the wrong thing, leaving. Had I stayed, who knows? Likely I'd have gotten us both killed. Let's just say my ambitions were bigger than my talents after I recovered from Horizon Point. Still believed I could change the world back then. Anyway, I appreciate the check-in, Commander.
Could it be? You seem an honest-to-goodness rational human being, unhindered by bloodlust, unshackled from their basal ganglia. Well then, by the Loeffler Risk Intercession Act, under Outbreak Provision 5A, I hereby press you into service to aid me in our present crisis. I, Elmet Ormsby, Product Envisioner, Department of Proprietary Methodology and Audacious Advances, am your interim supervisor. Yes, tragedy has befallen a number of my subordinates. I will trust you not to make light of such heart-rending events. But back to the exciting news about this incredible new opportunity. You working for me, as an aide-de-camp of sorts, on a brief yet no doubt exhilarating assignment. Our lab had been researching the red spores that grow nearby to see if they might contribute to future Auntie's Choice products. As per usual, we threw precaution to the wind. A local spore sample interacted with a wonderfully preservative-rich diet of Auntie's Choice personnel, inadvertently leading to a chance reaction causing profound irritability. To a somewhat homicidal degree, it would seem to appear. By that measure, our work here could be considered a moderate success. Well, it should all be rather straightforward, yes? I suspect we'd use a top-down indirect coronium synthesis method, don't you think? Just so. You seem no stranger to this type of work, eh? Tremendous. Well then, before we roll up our sleeves and determine what's needed, any questions? Whole thing was ghastly. One of my assistants and I heard a loud noise. He left to investigate while I continued working on our experiment. When he failed to return, I peeked outside and saw the others run in, bloody, gibbering, hunting for targets. They'd clearly been exposed to some virulent new form of experimental agent. I ran back and locked myself in this test chamber to avoid contamination. Well then, anything else before we proceed? Our lab's focus is the utilization of local flora and fauna in development of commercial products and proprietary methods. But as much as I'd love to natter on, we probably ought to get matters underway. We'll need two things: fresh samples of the red spores and the findings from the expedition that originally uncovered them. After that, an antidote should be possible in relatively short order, with your skilled assistance, of course. Spore samples may be taken from a red plant indigenous to an area of tall rock formations northwest of here, ingeniously referred to as the Red Spire. The research team's findings are on a terminal in another building on these same grounds, a satellite lab to this one, if you will. Once we have an antidote firmly in hand, we can save my remaining colleagues, so best not murder them all in the meantime.
By orders of Marshal Donaldson, no one comes or goes to the Automech Repair Center without approval. What's your business here?
Now you've done it. Slowing down a ranking protectorate official is worth 10, 20 demerits if you're lucky.
All right, let's not lose our heads over a simple misunderstanding. You're free to pass. Marshal Donaldson likes to greet new arrivals personally. We'll let him know you're inbound, so no one shoots on sight. Oh, and fair warning, watch out for Zeranium gas. We sprung a leak. Definitely the second one. But it's like the Marshal says, in war, evacuation is not an option. One more thing. Don't cause any trouble around these parts. Donaldson runs a tight ship and has zero tolerance for lawbreakers.
What in the name of the architect? Oh, right. My guards told me to expect a new arrival, right before our chief mechanist decided to harangue me with the latest on our catastrophe.
Marshal, You're acting as though I'm not standing here auguring the impending doom of this facility.
Woodrow, normally I would be obliged, nay, happy, to receive your senseless jawing, but not today. Perhaps this outsider can assist where you've failed. I hope you've come to help, because a crisis is bearing down on us, and I've a dearth of reliable hands with which to manage it. We may or may not have what you need. Speak with Hazel, our ever-reliable and ever-resourceful quartermaster. Like you, me and my consternated head technician are new arrivals, though we may not last long if we fail to repair the Zeranium leak. I wouldn't have put it in those terms, but I appreciate someone who speaks their mind. The Vox relay station needs our automechs. But until that leak is fixed, this facility is a target for the sport of Auntie's armaments. Delphinia Bryant is working on a prototype Zeranium shield. Whoever uses it will be less disposable and more useful to the Protectorate. There is a nominal risk that the automechs will act impulsively, but there will be plenty of time to unravel that particular knot once they're delivered.
Marshal, those automechs have been corrupted with Zeranium. I can't even cogitate on what they're capable of if we lack the time or resources to approach this rationally. Should they go berserk, we may well be turning the very subject you intend to resupply into their victims. We'd be branded as traitors.
Then perhaps you had better explain to Brigadier Montelli why his defenses are grounded. And you can do so personally, in the comfort of his office.
Montelli? I rescind my objection. May the delicate workings of the paradigm point us toward a better way.
There's a good fellow. Cleave to your loyalty, and it will never steer you wrong.
Ambient Zeranium levels are higher than average, but within acceptable ranges. State your business. This unit was engineered to facilitate management of supply inventory at this installation.
Oh, this is surely exciting. Someone is finally trying out my automechanical quartermaster. Show them what you got, quartermech.
Command not understood.
Huh. I thought that would have put it into sales mode. Best look into that later. Please, give it a try yourself.
All wares should be perfectly visible already.
Sorry, it tends to take things too literally. Maybe try phrasing the request differently.
Lull detected. Conversational status uncomfortable.
Does that one compute, big guy?
Affirmative. Initiating commerce is one of this unit's default commands. Initiating commerce.
Oh, unfamiliar clientele. I was just lamenting the lack of new faces around here since supplies stopped arriving. And then you walk in. Name's Hazel. I'm sort of the acting quartermaster around these parts. You need any supplies? Talk to my friend the quartermech here. Passed during the attack. Got his face melted clean off by this weird goo. And he was one of the lucky ones. Excuse the mess, by the way. Auntie gave us a pummeling a few weeks back. The old wardens paid the price. Where their courage faltered, a little mental refreshment should do just the trick. When the attack unfolded, I was fixing the automechanicals who laid down their gears in our defense. Our leaders failed to do the same, which makes them more cowardly than an automech. I did my part to uphold the Protectorate. Can they say the same? Now what'll it be? You'd think that a fully stocked automechanical repair center would have automech parts, and 9 times out of 10 you'd be spot on. Trouble is, a bunch of supplies went missing recently, right around the time the quartermech completed a routine inventory. As a matter of fact, yes. Recently, when the crates by the wall got too high, it began stacking supplies on the catwalk above.
Protectorate automechanicals feature advanced construction but low adaptability. Fall-throughs in its logic assembly would likely lead it to interpret its programming literally.
Logic can be a funny thing, you understand. One misstep can have the most peculiar results. Hey, that's a good point. The quartermech is my responsibility. Claim whatever parts you require from the missing supplies, and we'll call the matter settled. Delphinia's lab would be the place to search. We use it for storage, and our records indicate the supplies were present and accounted for.
Standard Earth Directorate protocol calls for a thorough grid search of the premises, Commander. Those parts are bound to turn up somewhere.
Are you acquainted with Delphinia? She's a scientist on loan from the Vox Relay, helping with the Zeranium leak and all. Delphinia is not very nice. Or maybe she just doesn't like me personally. Anyway, she's very talented, and I'm glad she's helping out. And I'm never going within 10 feet of her again. Best of luck in your search. Let me know if I can be of assistance.
Give me a sec. Almost done with this work list. Another sealant failure, amplifier requisition, and 2 more cases of Zeranium exposure. We're a mite bit busy these days. The Marshal is under a lot of pressure to deliver automechs to the Vox Relay Station, but I'm responsible for their quality control. If even a single automech steps out of line, it will be the end of me. I'd say it's guaranteed. The Marshal is a good man, but he values speed while I value accuracy. Neither of us is wrong, but in this case, we both can't be right. Hazel should get you sorted right quick, assuming she has the parts. She's right between the barracks and the main gate. Can't miss her. You want to see the quartermaster. She's right next to the gate you entered through. Under the marshal's office, she'll only be able to sell you our surplus, but you might find some of it useful.
Yes. Let's have a look at you. No signs of Zeranium exposure, or anything else novel or interesting, apparently. Another humdrum workaday ailment, no doubt. Nothing requiring my vast expertise, surely. Oh, gladly. I've rather dedicated my life to researching its unique form of matter. What would you like to know? Zeranium is a crystal. Even in its raw form, it generates energy. But once refined and stored in a quasi-gaseous state, its output increases exponentially. Zeranium is found in a liquid state as well, but it's far too hazardous and inefficient for our needs. Refined Zeranium is used to power nearly all major Protectorate technology. It's an amazingly efficient power source. However, it's also highly unstable and must be mined exceedingly carefully. Even minor bumps or jolts can cause Zeranium crystals to explode. Zeranium in its default crystalline state poses 2 risks. First, it's extremely volatile, exploding with an immense burst of energy if upset in any way. Second, Zeranium crystals produce a small amount of gas, which we think helps stabilize its crystalline lattice, but that's just a theory. In this gaseous state, Zeranium is quite hazardous, breaking down organic matter through a mechanism we still don't quite understand. The concentration of the gas is a critical factor. A person could remain in a light haze for several minutes, whereas a dense cloud can kill near instantly. Anyhow, I could talk about this all day if I let myself. Hope I haven't bored you unduly. Was there anything else I could help you with? Total avoidance is best, but try to get out of the Zeranium as quickly as you can if exposure becomes necessary. Come to think of it, there may be some exciting new breakthroughs in the near future. Our visiting scientist next door is working on a device that shields the user from Zeranium's effects, though she was having a spot of trouble last I heard.
Oh yes, I adore interruptions. I was just saying, what's best for stoking the spark of invention? Regular disruptions to one's train of thought. Now what is it you want? Ah, our good Marshal sent you, did he? Well, unfortunately, the device is taking longer than expected. A number of factors. Zeranium is dangerous, and we wouldn't want a researcher falling victim to their subject of study. The scarcity of volunteers is also a problem. Everyone wants to fix the gas leak, but no one wants to step inside a hazardous vapor. Now tell me, are you familiar with Zeranium gas? I haven't time to prattle unnecessarily, no. But my current project is of utmost importance. An active discussion is sometimes known to lead to a breakthrough. I could speak at length about Zeranium's many captivating intrinsic qualities, But suffice it to say, in its gaseous state, it's rather deadly. So what am I endeavoring to create? A protective device that shields its wearer from Zeranium's remarkably unsavory effects, as well as other forms of harm. Yes, quite right. And let me tell you, it was astoundingly difficult to dial in the resonance. Luckily, the difficult work is behind us. There are only a smattering of ancillary details still to be hashed out. Alas, while I'm occupied with inventing this shield gadget, I also find myself in need of assistance regarding its key components. Good. Wonderful. As an added incentive, I'll allow you to keep one of the prototypes once the work is finished, so you be sure to give it your all. Now here, you'll need this apparatus. It's for collecting stray Zeranium effluvium. Gas, that is. My supply is running low from all the iterative testing I've been performing. Merely activate the device once it's inside a Zeranium cloud, the one around the main hangar specifically. Try to avoid any fields of dense Zeranium, or death is all but assured. Any questions? Normally, yes, but on the off chance that environmental exposure has altered the gas here in any way, I'll want to work with local samples. Ideally, the resulting shielding will protect against any gas, but since it's of utmost importance that it work on the gas here, I'll be calibrating against that. Well, of course, obviously. To that end, I'd suggest choosing a cloud of lesser density for your collection efforts. Lower chance of near-instant death that way. If you suffer prolonged exposure, assuming you survive, see our local medical officer next door. She is highly preoccupied by the treatment of Zeranium-related maladies. I believe that covers all the necessary education for this particular assignment. Oh, so exhilarating to have a new subordinate. I look forward to thoroughly scrutinizing your work. Now, shoo-shoo! Off with you now! Gather those samples! Shoo! Ah, my little minion. I trust you've made progress in your tasks? What did I tell you? Perfectly safe. Either that or you tolerate Zeranium poisoning like a champ. Good for you. Should you suffer from any lingering symptoms of contamination, visit the medical center and they'll get you squared away. Now, on to business. The device already generates a field exactly as specified, albeit on a very small scale. Still, progress is progress. What's needed now is something to help extend and shape the field around the user. Capital deduction! Where have you been all my career? You'll be pleased to learn there's one right here at the facility, in the Dragoon that's patrolling just outside. You guessed correctly. Our chief mechanist was rather hostile to the idea. So you may have trouble getting your hands on the catalytic amplifier. I'm sure he's just being cautious. Should Auntie's choice attack us, we don't want to be caught defenseless. No doubt he also seeks to retain an unspoiled automech, since the others are by now riddled with Zeranium poisoning. Dragoons are a mainstay of our military. The design has been in production for decades. I had a model of one when I was young. All children did. You must have seen the large automech patrolling the interior grounds. That is the Dragoon. Good. A flexible mindset should behoove you on this task. Perhaps the chief mechanist will prove more receptive to your request. Failing that, be prepared to exercise creativity if needed. One last thing. The Dragoon must not be harmed. Not only would the amplifier likely be damaged, but we'd both be summarily executed, assuming we survive the firefight that ensued. Well, off you go. Shoo.
If you need something, kindly make it quick. She and I have been over this 100 times. Please understand. The original staff of this facility were rounded up and refreshed because they couldn't safeguard a protectorate asset. Why should I follow their example by reducing our sole working Dragoon to a pile of unpatriotic scrap? I can't. I won't. That's a fair point. It's not as if they've come back to finish the job. Perhaps they assume we're already beaten. All right, how's about we get the Dragoon situated over here, so I can extract its vital organ? One catalytic amplifier as agreed. I hate to lose another Dragoon, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Not a chance. Donaldson has done everything in his power to get this facility online. He can't blame me for doing the same. Be seeing you, stranger.
Well, any closer to obtaining the catalytic amplifier? Oh, superb! I'm almost tempted to ask how you managed it. But pressing on. Just a moment to remove what I need and install it in the prototype. With this gadget, you'll be shielded against more than Zeranium, you know. Damn near everything, as long as it's charged. Now, report to Marshal Donaldson, if you please. He's rather impatient to end this crisis so he can turn his focus back to the war. You do that. Anything to keep him off my back for an hour.
I'm glad that spectacle didn't scare you off. Between the recent attacks and the gas leak, you find us on the razor's edge between reason and panic. Whether or not you're able to help us, I'm grateful to have an extra set of eyes on the problem. Zeranium is hardly my area of expertise, but it falls to me to find a solution, lest I follow my predecessors to their untimely fate. What happens to any member of the Protectorate who falls short of fulfilling their lifelong oath of service? Execution for the unworthy, and mental refreshment for the salvageable and the stalwart. Dereliction of duty is a heavy offense, and no lesser sentence will fit the crime. I hold myself to the highest standard, but this Zeranium leak, it threatens all that I hold dear. Ha! You cut straight to the point. This facility has been through many a trial and tribulation, but the war is not finished with us yet. What it needs is stable, consistent leadership, and I can't be that if I'm dead of Zeranium poisoning. What else would disrupt the harmony of our perfect system? Auntie's choice, of course. A chance shot hit the wrong pipe early into their assault. Zeranium wreaks havoc on automechanicals. Every combat-ready mech in the repair hangar was overcharged and beset with behavioral problems. Further damage soon occurred. True, the facility was disrupted, but it was not undone. The Protectorate saw to that. When disorder looms its ugly head, the Protectorate relies on its people to maintain and restore that order. The situation is deteriorating rapidly, and I need that gas leak fixed. Otherwise, my automechs might as well be paperweights. While I trust that Brigadier Montelli has everything well in hand, that assurance does not alleviate the grim tidings felt in the pit of my bowels. Loyalty and instinct run hand in hand. I'm a Protectorate man, after all. So why should I be ill at ease, despite our stalwart chain of command and dependable kin at the helm? No matter. My unease is nothing when measured against the strength of the Protectorate. This facility's purpose is the maintenance of automechanicals. When the war kicked off, it became a military asset, and I am its second steward. The old staff should have laid down their lives to repel Auntie's choice. For their failure of loyalty and grit, they were punished, and rightly so. Now, their burden is mine, but I won't allow my unit to suffer the same fate. I knew Dr. Bryant would come through for us, that she'd prove her worth as surely as any subject of the Protectorate would. Seeing as you're the only one trained in the use of that gadget, what say you put it through its paces? Make your way inside the repair hangar and find the control terminal to purge the Zeranium. And be careful with that terminal. We don't want the situation getting any worse. Don't worry about Woodrow. Smart fellow, but his cautious nature gets in the way. Yes, there is some risk that exposure to Zeranium will corrupt our automechs, to use his colorful language. That shouldn't stop us from delivering them on time. I'm sure they'll be scrubbed clean once they arrive at the Vox relay. But that isn't our problem to solve. You be sure and come back once you've made progress on the leak. Have you done? The Zeranium now spews from the hangar more thickly than ever. The damage must have been more advanced than we thought. I knew I should have pushed the repairs earlier. Sure, a few may have died, but the mission might still have been salvaged. This is my fault. The blame lies squarely on my shoulders. I gambled on an outsider rather than trusting my own resources, and now the price is paid. With this failure, I have likely doomed this entire island to the tender mercies of our enemies. No more will our stalwart subjects reap the bounty of this land. No more will the pleasant whine of servos accompany our mechanical servants in their noble servitude. Instead, this island will be trampled by the boots of our enemies. Its resources stripped bare, leaving nothing of the beauty we've cultivated over long years. As our stewardship is cast aside like so much detritus, harmony will be lost, and chaos will reign. Praise will give way to slogans, duty to greed, honor to contractual obligation. Freaks and worse will despoil that which is left behind, while bureaucrats will use this once proud land as a springboard for their superficial and petty ambitions. And with the island's fall, I may have dealt a crippling blow to the Protectorate itself. Our foes will use this place as a stepping stone, eating their way deeper into Eden like ravenous maggots. And it will all be my fault. I'll be remembered, if any of us is, as the one who lost it all. Yes, I suppose I have. Now please, leave me be.
My erstwhile assistant returns. To what do I owe the pleasure? Now that you mention it, there was one particularly insistent little mech who kept trying to put all manner of bric-a-brac in here. After several firm remonstrations, I told it the interior of this building is off limits while I am working here. Didn't see that peculiar little scamp again after that. Until a more convenient date and time.
Run into trouble? No, don't answer. The indications are all too clear. Fortunately for you, you appear to have a fairly mild case. I imagine you haven't even noticed any symptoms yet. If you'd indulge me, I have a few questions I'd like to ask, for medical posterity, and so on and so forth. First question, can you describe the conditions in which you were exposed to the Zeranium? It's a wonder you're still upright. The emanations outside that building are thick enough to be a death sentence. The Marshal's at his wit's end about it. I'd suggest paying a call to our visiting scientist next door. Purportedly, she's devised a device that can block the effects of Zeranium gas. All right, next question. How are you feeling? For instance, do your bones seem noticeably softer somehow? Have you observed any sterility on your way in? Or aching in your thyroid or spleen? Well, good for you. Keeping a positive attitude can often aid your recovery. I wish more of my patients shared your optimistic disposition. As a token of my appreciation, allow me to provide you advanced Zeranium therapy of the highest possible quality. There, that should do it. Do stop back in if you suffer additional exposure. I would love, be pleased to act as your consulting physician again, should the need arise. Normally, I'd say to ask the quartermaster, but he died a few weeks back. Perhaps he's been replaced since? I wouldn't know, as I've had my hands full since the attack. Failing that, I imagine you could ask the technicians here. One of them might know. Don't have much to spare, but you're free to have a look.
How did you manage to formulate coagulant with only a handful of ingredients? No need to clap yourself on the back. The results speak for themselves. In any case, I hate being in debt to anyone, so here, something for your trouble. It's your lucky day, Trooper. Not only has our good Samaritan here suggested an alternate form of treatment that will allow you to keep your leg, but they've also made a coagulant that will greatly reduce any complications as I excavate the tibia shrapnel from your remaining muscle.
That still sounds kind of painful.
I'm going to administer a localized anesthetic. You'll hardly feel a thing. Now, if you don't like needles, I'd advise you to look away.
Yeah, been gone a while. How'd it go? Tell me you got good news. Why, that's terrible. But you said you have the schematics? I'll take those. What? Sovereign's finest potato corollary peeler? This was supposed to be a guaranteed bestseller. Who in their right mind would... Jackson, you idiot! Ah! It's a good thing he's dead, because if he wasn't, I'd kill him! There's no... God damn it! I'm never getting that promotion. This was supposed to be my easy path to a promotion. Must be something I can do to salvage this. Tell me, did you come across any other advanced protectorate technology while you were there? Anything more, well, easily marketable? Personal thrusters? No one would ever want such preposterous things. I'd be laughed out of recreant reclamation. Imagine, jumping about like a sprog. Ridiculous. Well, here's all I can spare in regards to your compensation. Try not to spend it all in one place. It's supposed to be categorically bad for commerce. In the unlikely event things somehow pan out and I get that big promotion, I'll see you're taken care of. Until then, take care.
Bad Trooper Sealong, no mind. The individuality encouraged by Auntie's choice sometimes inspires employees to speak out of turn. How has your progress been? Have you acquired what we discussed? Excellent! Pleased that someone in my employ can be relied upon. Here, have one of my finest suits as a token of thanks. May it aid in your capture of hearts and minds.
Again, you gave away my job and told my replacement to send me home. That don't make me wayward, and it sure as shit don't make me unreliable. If this contract weren't staying my hand, I reckon you'd be answering to it right about now.
You mean grant preferential treatment to a subpar contractor? And I suppose the bits for such a procedure shall simply manifest from the ether?
And if I die or leave, how do you reckon failure to retain an enhanced soldier would look to upper management, huh?
Please pay this disgruntled employee no mind. What would she do without Auntie's hand to guide her if she were unemployed? I should think death a preferable alternative.
That's it. I'd rather be a down-and-outer for the rest of my life than crushed under your counterfeit leather boa boot a second longer. I quit! Oh, I'm counting on it.
This is unheard of, and I might add, you'll not be welcome with an Auntie's choice once more. We'll not take a contract shirker back into our fold.
So you say. But Auntie's choice ain't seen a trooper like me before. You'll regret counting me out. Till then, I hope you choke on your mock apple martinis. And you, I got a proposition for you. Come find me when you're done with this clown.
She will most assuredly regret her decision. Most assuredly. But I suppose that is no longer my concern. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. The acquisition of this information is but the first part of my plan to bring our foes into the fold and to ensure my future. The second is my operation in Westport. I should have known better than to try to bait an individual as savvy as yourself. I shall speak openly then. Bringing Westport to heel will deliver me not only my future, but the tools to aid you in your endeavor to enter the Vox station. Yes, it is a grim place, but the Protectorate hangers-on who remain there are anything but inclined to move on. Converting Westport's subjects will teach us much about the Protectorate mind, how it solves problems, what it desires, how it can be swayed. I've a kit of supplies to aid you, items to cajole or to dissuade. Sabotage the town or sway the citizenry, the choice is yours. Should pose no trouble for a go-getter like you. Perhaps. The kit contains a wide variety of tools, propaganda, equipment, and more than a few confectionaries. Some items may serve as honey, swaying the naysayers to our side. Others are blunt implements, crippling infrastructure to force the refugees toward Fairfield. Slather on a bit of elbow grease and you'll certainly succeed. I'm sure there are kindred spirits in Westport. No one wholly resists Auntie. Westport represents a challenge. The challenge presented by the majority of the Protectorate. Fairfield citizenry were given ample incentive to fold, for they could see the freedom we offer firsthand. But the people of Westport are stubborn enough to risk death for their ideals and cannot be swayed by the lights of Fairfield. If I can convert them, I can convert anyone. Shh, not so loud. The hat can tell when you're questioning it. The people of Westport don't trust me. How can they? I am the enemy. I am the invader. I cannot help these people achieve salvation until I know what it is they yearn for. You are a third party. You're presumably trustworthy. I need you to act on my behalf. I say if the situation is serendipitous, so much the better. Excellent. Here's the kit. Advertisement tapes, ambidextrine, assorted stimulants, free samples of Purple Berry Crunch, everything you need to wage war on the undecided mind. With that, I shall mark the locale. Begin with the vigilant Hogarth. Motivate him to depart, and his subjects will trot in file behind him, woolly cow-like. Now, I'm sure you've asked yourself, for a task so involved, shall the reward be worthwhile? Well, wonder no longer. For the completion of this deed, I'm prepared to offer you an exact replica of my one-of-a-kind, limited production, gentle person's Oxonian. Then consider yourself officially deputized in the war to further innovation and the free market. Be forewarned. I can only guess at the needs of the denizens of Westport. You must engage with them, gauge their situation. Only then can you motivate them adequately. While I can't say for certain, I strongly suspect not. Westport no longer possesses any strategic value. The Protectorate has no reason to defend a half-sunken town. Still, I would come prepared with anything you think you might require. Paradise Island brims with danger, even if Westport itself seems safe. Do I look like Officer Carr to you? Guns.
Hope that little dust-up back there didn't put you off. My contract had me caged, and I was glad to get a few licks in during the jailbreak. Got a proposition. Since I'm newly free-ranged, and you're free-ranged yourself, thinking we ought to team up. You're going places. I want to go too. If you help me fix my graft, you'll retain the services of a fully functioning enhanced soldier. Me. Don't matter what you set your mind to, together we'll be unstoppable. And in time, maybe I'll have earned myself the clout to be welcomed back into Auntie's Choice. I can be on my own for a time, but I'd rather it not be permanent. Besides, where else can I turn from nothing to something? I did, but I can't expect someone else to foot the bill if there's no guaranteed treatment will work. So I'll take on the risk myself. A go-getter attitude's always rewarded. I get it. You're skeptical. If you got more questions, go on and ask them. You'll not find me hiding anything in the fine print. Had a feeling you knew a good offer when you seen it. Once I'm in top form, you'll be pleasantly surprised to see what I'm capable of. Just gotta find out how to get there first. Doc Tinsley worked with Grafts for some time before she came to Fairfield. Damn fine scientist. Reckon we should visit her lab at the edge of town to see if she's got ideas for us.
This much of a crowd's not likely to keep a low profile. Someone ought to head back to mind the ship.
Acknowledged.
After you.
Just heard tell some of my troops stormed the bridge to the Vox Relay. Auntie may be displeased, but the results speak for themselves. Such a shame the troops won't be receiving any promotions for their daring. Insubordination in Auntie's Choice is as frequent and spontaneous as death, and twice as unwelcome. Not to mention some of those bodies we're fixing for my role. Important part is the bridge is in our grasp. I'm planning to keep it that way.
Hello again. Was there something you... Oh, Inez! You look, well, like you could use an ice bath and a cup of newly formulated trip teas. Has something happened?
Something has, all right. I ended my contract effective immediately. Now I'm free to prove myself to everyone in Auntie's Choice. My way.
Well, that's wonderful news. Or is it? I admit I'm still trying to work through what contracts mean hereabouts. But you do appear to be pleased, so I shall be pleased for you. Ah, that is not common knowledge in this town. But since Inez appears to trust you, I suppose I can do the same. Before I began my new illustrious career working with our tame, scarily friends here, I was a researcher in the Enhanced Soldier Division. Oh, I was on the verge of breakthrough when they shut us down. Oh, when I think of the lives I could have reached. But in my current role, I do try to help where I can.
Where my own first aid training can't reach, Doc's got me covered. The graft knocked me on my ass for weeks when I first got it. But she nursed me back to health.
Would if I could have done more. Right. I have a lead, Inez. I've identified 2 viable beasts on this island that you may be compatible with. Though it may not be easy to acquire the suitable specimens. Unfortunately, the beasts must be subdued. And due to the nature of the specimens we require for the procedure, sadly killed. I might add that these are powerful beasts indeed. The first candidate is the skeleton crabble. It has a rare form of albinism and was last spotted on the western coast by Protectorate scientists, who, unfortunately, went missing. I happened upon an old report of theirs along with a code used to operate their machinery. If their fate is what I suspect, the code may be of use to you.
I heard rumors of the creature myself. Our skeleton sounds a good bit larger than the average crabble. Meaner and smarter, too.
The second candidate is a Raptidon matriarch, the only one of her kind on the island as I understand it. She was last spotted in the crags near the Vox Relay.
Deep in Protectorate territory. This matriarch sure ain't making it easy for us. She'll be more aggressive and more cunning than her smaller kin.
When you breach the matriarch's lair, you must rouse her from hibernation. I found pheromones to be quite effective. Inez, I'm certain you know a formula that may suffice.
That I do.
Excellent. It'll be a rather unpleasant wake-up call for the matriarch, so she'll be upon you in moments. I suggest your armaments be at the ready. Then the grafting part is yours. Yes, though I would recommend a careful surgical removal of the specimens, please. Now, when you acquire one or both of these parts, return here straight away, and we can begin surgery. Law guide you both out there.
There's a beast out there just waiting to yield up its vitals to a grafting table. I'd like to begin the hunt soon, if it's all the same to you. If you say so. Try not to get into too much trouble without me. Muscular reticulation's still intact. Cartilaginous integrity mostly sound. A good clean cut, and the pincer's still sharp. Yeah, this'll do just fine. Shame about all the scientists, though. I was hoping this wouldn't be too steep a price. Well, I sure ain't gonna fry up the claw and serve it with tarmac and cheese. This little hand has been poisoning me for a spell, remember? I'm hoping it'll be a salve, as Doc suspects it might be. But seeing it now, I'd reckon there are some other ways I might use it to my advantage. If you still got some hunting you, that Raptidon matriarch's on the loose. Her den's not far from the Vox Relay up north. Elsewise, we head back to Fairfield and speak to Doc Tinsley.
Hey, Commander. Could I have a word with you real quick? I hope you're not seriously considering helping the Protectorate here. I know these folks seem on the down and out, but we're as like to do more harm than good by siding with them. I'm not in favor of one party over the other. It just worries me that we might be involving ourselves in something we have no business in. Your heart's rightly placed, Commander, but past experience has taught me that sometimes helping causes more harm than good. That's all I'm getting at. Given the condition of this place, I assumed no shortage of willing spirits eager for a way out. But then, reason's sometimes hard to come by with the Protectorate. Before you make a decision one way or the other, let's ask around. See what the residents have to say. No use trying to lift up those attached to the muck.
Ah, my most favorite, least homicidal subordinate. How's all our fieldwork progressing? Absolutely gorgeous. Look at you. And to think I just forcibly coerced the first gormless dunderhead who walked by and found you. Lucky me. Now, first things first. Place the data cartridge in the drawer for me, right here, in the slot below my intercom. Aha. Allow me to give this a cursory eyeball and... perfect. I'm sure we have the correct neutralizing agent here in the lab. I'll nose out the exact compound within our chemical reserves in 2 shakes of a rat's tail. Always fortuitous to have ready access to a key chemical agent nearby. This might work out yet. Auntie may ignore our recent setbacks if I deliver an easy-to-market product. Just imagine the ad slogans. Air, now with extra fractiousness. Though, I suppose it only works on other Auntie's Choice employees, not our preservative-free rivals. Oh, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Now we must formulate an antidote. If we're able to save my remaining subordinates, they can help us rush this product to market. Normally, I'd say perfection can't be hurried, but... there. I have determined the ideal counteragent. Here you are. Place it and the spore samples into that synthesizer. Enable the device and it will begin a working antidote momentarily. Return with it directly as soon as it does, if you please. I cannot wait to put this entire sordid affair behind us. Though in the end, this should turn out to be quite a lucrative day. I saw you working the chemical synthesizer. I presume you were successful in creating an antidote? Good. Place the antidote into the slot here. I'll insert it into the air filtration system. That will cycle it throughout the area and cure all afflicted. When backup arrives and releases me, I'll run a tally of all here who survived. Not to boast, but I'd say this wildly dangerous experimental agent was quite effective. You can be sure that management and I will see it's put to good use. I may even get a promotion off this. Not budging? Oh, all right. I suppose I'd be willing to throw in a little extra as a merit bonus for your superlative performance. Wonderful! Knew you seemed a bankably reliable sort. All right. I am activating the air filtration system. There. Should only take a few moments for the antidote to circulate. Everyone still alive should be right as rain shortly. Marvelous. You'll find your remuneration in the chest behind me. My supervisor will hear of your actions. Oh, and before I forget, I, Omid Ormsby, under the power granted me by the Loeffler Risk Intercession Act, hereby free you from impressed service to Auntie's Choice. Be seeing you.
Break as many fingers as pleases you. Still won't change my tune. Wait, who are you? I'm certain I haven't seen you before. I remember all my oppressors.
We're not Protectorate. We're your ticket out of this hotbox. Esculepe sent us.
Esculepe? Zeb sent you? Wait, you're Niles, aren't you? Count on Zeb to go as far as raising the dead to help. But it's too late. I gather you haven't noticed the bodies in the pen here.
Oh. The others don't look like they suffered easy deaths. What happened?
Montelli, damn him! He executed March and Pharaoh outright, ranting about traitors. Then the Consul Sentinel arrived to conduct a preliminary interrogation. She tortured us for information. The others didn't survive her enthusiasm for the work. I'm only here because the Consul wants someone brought back to him, alive. Lucky me. Thanks. Can't take all the credit, though. The Sentinel seemed spent. by the time she got to me. Wore herself out on the others, I guess. Quick, though, before I forget or we're interrupted, I memorized the cipher. It's O2519W. Should help Zeb decode the intelligence we sent him a whole lot faster. Kind of you to offer, but I'm not going anywhere.
If you're too hurt to walk, I'm sure the commander and I could...
No, it's not that. I need the Sentinel to take me onto that transport. I want her to think she's won. And then, just as we leave orbit, I'm going to blow her pretty ship to pieces.
That might just be the most ruthless bait and switch I ever heard. Your friends ought to be proud.
Thanks. Funny what ideas come into your head after losing a molar. I'm not planning to rely on actual munitions, but I thank you for the offer. All the same, I'm no martyr. If there was another way to protect Zebulon and our cell, I'd take it. But if I escape, the Protectorate will pursue me, and everyone I care about will be in danger. I'll make it look like an accident. Mechanical failure. When I was being tortured, I saw some frayed wires near the fuel system. With the right spark, I think I can ignite it.
You know your stuff, Commander. I was just about to point out the same problem.
What do you propose, then?
Not blowing yourself up, for starters.
You know how relentless the Protectorate is. But if I die, that's the end of it. The Consul will turn his attention elsewhere, and our cause can continue in the shadows. Please, if you can help me sabotage the transport, then help me. We don't have much time.
Might be I could sabotage the transport from the outside. Make it look like negligent maintenance. What do you think, Commander?
The others paid with their blood to protect the cause. How can I be unwilling to do the same? All right. I'm going to trust you on this, if only because I don't feel my head screwed on quite right at the moment. I just hope you're not wrong. No point in remaining here then, is there? I'll need you to find a way to unlock the gate to this pen. If you can't manage it through nimble fingers, one of the guards nearby should have a key card on them. Talk about prepared. Quickly then, unlock the gate. Well done. I can manage from here. Tell Zeb I'll rendezvous with him later, once I've identified a safe place to meet. One last request. Don't damage the transport. A lone escapee is already insult, but a Sentinel killed, her transport destroyed? The Protectorate won't ignore such outright injury. Anyway, thank you again. Look after yourselves.
I know what Audra said, but what if she's wrong? I can't help thinking we shouldn't leave without bloodying the Protectorate's nose first. I could still go through with our plan from before. Sabotage the transport, make it look like an accident. Wouldn't be hard. I'm torn. On the one hand, Audra might be right. But when else are we going to have a chance to take out one of the Consul's lackeys and a Protectorate vessel in one go? I hear what you're saying, Commander. Or maybe not. Are you saying we oughtn't take action? That Sentinel's not going to stop. She'll find new targets, new people to torture and kill. If we do nothing now, their blood will be on our hands. I've spent 10 years on the sidelines watching people suffer, not being able to do a thing about it. We can do something here. So shouldn't we? Yeah, you're probably right. Tempting as it be to watch that Sentinel fry. Thanks for helping me sort through it. Let's get back to Zeb. He still needs a cipher, and he'll want to hear about what happened with Audra.
Don't suppose you checked in with Vigilant Hogarth yet, eh? Oh, glad to hear. Probably sprung an important task on you afterwards, I'd wager. I mentioned to the Vigilant how I'd reset my chef mech to prepare meals to my liking. Next thing you know, he puts me in charge of repairing all the mechs in Westport. I mean, sure. All the underlying logic's the same, if you mull it over. I've been trained to run them big algae processing units, which were a fair amount more complex. It's just... subjects are expected to mind their assigned area and particular forte. So I was a mite taken aback. But I am happy to help the system abide any way I am able. I assume those are approved Protectorate announcements, correct? with everyone's neighbor prudence and the like? I mean, sorry. Of course they are. Loudspeaker control terminal is in the proclamation station, a few structures over. One with the antenna. I suspect they go there. Not to indulge in idle talk, but things have been different around here of late. Not at all overwhelmed or terrified of dying, though, of course. The system abides. Curativist Row is a fine sort. Pillar of our community. Might impatient, sure, but with how busy she is, we'd all do well to respect her time. Watch out for that Weintraut fellow. Talk your ear off if you let him. Kinda lonesome, but doesn't let anybody near his place for some reason. Even before the flooding. Everybody else? Decent enough, I guess. Even if I did ever fall prey to such treacherous whimsy, you think I'd be fool-headed enough to admit it to a stranger? Look like I've been kicked by an automech or something? I mean, void damn. Vigilant Hogarth's still here. No matter how bad it gets, keeps us going. Keeps us right. Folks like him prove the paradigm is aligned with the Architect's plan. Just gotta trust the rightful guidance of the Vigilance and the Sovereign. Funny. I reckon that's more true of them over in Fairfield. They love their substandard comestibles and lack of fellowship. Smacks a bit of conspicuous inveiglement to me. Sure feel sorry for them. Maybe someday after we, well, utterly crush their forces and disprove their bent philosophy, we can show them all a right, better way to live. Why, things need to severely decline around here for me to even consider. Oh, shut my mouth. Could never leave our fine Vigilant in the lurch. Fairfield.
Feeling distracted?
You don't say. Huh. So it's only here with our, perfect society that it works our way. How, fortunate for us all to benefit from such judicious guidance. That's a right intriguing proposition. I do wonder what it's like to have a choice about things. If it weren't for Vigilant Hogarth, I do believe I'd scupper off to, well, you know where. Yeah. You convince him, I'm in. But I owe him enough I wouldn't abandon him for nothing.
Why, hello again. Any new business to discuss involving secret sympathies and sugary spoils?
Why? Because the matriarch herself.
Really? What was he like? Bold, assertive, with a wildly obstreperous theatrical air?
Were constantly out of bounds.
An audacious proposal. Yet this place, despite its recent humidity, remains comfortable and familiar.
Poor dears didn't have the firm, benevolent hand of the sovereign to guide
Just imagine it. A new life full of breakneck decision-making and fending for oneself. But no, while I have acquired a distinct craving for certain Auntie's Choice products, I remain a good, loyal Protectorate subject at heart, if not in stomach. Hate to dash everyone's hopes. Suppose I am still part of the herd.
We have everything we need. Prudence dictates.
With a full case, I might gorge upon such sweet goodness morning, noon, and night. All right, hand it over. Oh, but what would Vigilant Hogarth say? What would everyone say? I can scarcely imagine it. Abandoning my community only to satisfy my gastronomical urges and risk-taking attitude. No, I couldn't leave unless Hogarth ordered everyone to go. Righto! Well, you seem rather confident. Best of luck, I suppose. You are surely going to need it. Please inform me when, of course, you receive it.
You've returned, but where are the others?
We pulled Audra out before she got herself blown up for the cause, but we were too late to save the others. A Sentinel worked them over real bad. I'm sorry, Zeb.
Damn the Protectorate! I'm certain you did all you could. And I'm especially grateful you were able to rescue Audra. I'd be at sea without her. And what of the Cypher? Thank you. I was beginning to fear I'd have to decipher this intelligence the hard way. Perhaps I was mistaken about your commitment to making amends, Niles. Thank you for being true.
Can't fault you for having doubts. But I have changed. I am changing.
I hope you'll both forgive me my earlier disposition. I'm not normally so surly. I'm pleased Niles has found such a supportive friend and ally. That's a rare thing in this colony. I haven't much to reward you with, but take this. It's something I had started on for Niles long ago. Hopefully it fits. This information came at a steep price, but I'll put it to good use. Expect to hear from me should our cause require further assistance from the Earth Directorate's best. Never fear. Next time, I fully intend to involve you in said trouble before it develops into a full-blown predicament.
Reckon I like the sound of that. Until next time, man. Feels good, don't it? Helping folks like Zeb and Audra hit back against the Protectorate. Almost like being back with the Earth Directorate. Yeah. Guess I am. First time in a long time I felt something kin to hope. It's easy to focus on all that's going wrong, but wins ought to be celebrated too. No. Trust, I learned my lesson there. Got the burns to prove it. On Triangular might have suggested going for drinks somewhere they don't come with fuel, but here, I think we'll have to settle for patting each other on the back. Shucks, Commander. I'm gonna get top-heavy you keep paying me compliments like that. Thanks again for going out of your way to help Zeb. Now I can focus on hunting down the Vrees without feeling like I've got a rabid sprat in my back pocket.
Hello again. Here to help? Or just being friendly? Hard to say, since I don't know any other way. We have more sense of community than other places, which I couldn't imagine getting by without. Before the invasion, Automex took care of most things. I had plenty of time for my interests. Forays into nature, socializing. Must say I do look forward to mealtime around here. Arcadian tenderloin in particular remains a favorite. Hard to find a bad meal in the Protectorate, though. Oh, no thank you. Not looking for anything that does more harm than good. I have enough ailments to manage already. From what I've heard about Auntie's medicaments, might poison a patient or cause them to grow an extra head or something. Never know what they're testing out on you.
My extra parts aren't side effects. That's your implication. And anyhow, I should think some minor side effects would be preferable to dying.
Honestly? Well, I'm a reasonable judge of character, and you seem upright. On behalf of my patients and I, thank you. We're all grateful. Guess outsiders aren't all just base individualists like they say on the wireless. Barring this being some tricky sales strategy, that is. This is a good start, but I fear it won't last long. Wouldn't happen to know a reliable means to procure more, would you? Oh, they'd just take us all in? Provide us with all the food and medicine and housing we'd ask for, would they? Doesn't align with how I've heard them depicted on the wireless. You almost make that sound reasonable, under a highly skewed, morally vacuous light. Not seeing a wealth of options here at present. I can watch my patients die, then face execution, or we can resettle elsewhere and remain alive. I lean toward the latter. The abandoned section of Westport ought to have some supplies. Should be enough medicaments down there to help our injured survive the trip to Fairfield. It's perilous, though. Well now, that should do nicely. Thank you. Hope those Crabbles didn't give you too much trouble. I recognize these patients require more care than I'm able to provide here. Seems like in Fairfield, I can get them the help they require. The one last additional thing we'll need is for Vigilant Hogarth to agree to it. It's less a concern about disloyalty and more my respect for his abilities. He's a skilled leader, and we could sorely use his aid, from coordinating logistics to keeping up morale. I'll surely have my hands full with my patients. His presence on the journey would save lives. All right, be careful out there.
Ah, the itinerant stranger returns. That is most excellent. Please, hand them over. Thank you. I know community service can be a foreign concept for those outside the Protectorate, so I hope this is ample reward for your time. I'll prepare a writ of conscription to allow you entry to the Vox Relay. While most would refuse my authorization, the sentry assigned to the gate once lived in Westport. Sentry second-class layman. Show the writ as proof I have conscripted you into my employ. Use it to press service on my behalf, and she will let you in. Once you're inside, there's someone else you should show it to. You do that and say what I tell you. It saved many lives. The Vox Relay is, to my mind, a time bomb. Brigadier Montelli's lost his way. Now all manner of chaos is raging there. I've heard tell he's even resorted to extra-legal executions. Madness, I tell you. A brigadier doesn't act as judge, jury, and executioner. That's an arbiter's job. And even then, they're enforcing existing Protectorate law. Marshal Corbin. As with all my subjects, I have been there when he needed me. I trust we can call on him now to do his part. Seek him out at the Vox Relay. Conscript him with the writ. And this is important. You must convince him to kill Montelli. Corbin will want to talk him down, to take him into custody, to message superiors outside the facility beforehand. We cannot allow any of that to happen. If Corbin becomes the highest-ranking officer alive, no one will be able to contradict his accounting of events. The Protectorate execute connivers and schemers. Corbin must appear forced to take down Montelli in the moment. It cannot feel like a plotted coup. Good, good. Here is the writ. I may not survive to see what occurs, but I trust you to follow your conscience. Farewell now. Promise you'll return here if you can, to check in on my people and see how they fare.
Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full luxury the paradigm affords us.
Nobody needs go anywhere, not when we can still save Westport. We of the Protectorate endure as one, regardless of any hardships we must face. It'd have to be catastrophically obvious this place was doomed, and incontrovertibly beyond my means to save it, before I'd even consider such a recourse.
Prudence dictates we take a moment.
Well, that's what's commonly referred to as your opinion. I have the aid of key pillars of our community. Several persons of note and good character who stand with and by me, and our town still functions. Our automechs are still running, mostly. We have a generator to power them, fresh water, the reassuring voice of everyone's neighbor Prudence wafts from our loudspeakers. But I know you've got more to do than listen to me natter on about the state of Westport. The Vox Relay's your main concern now. What utter nonsense. How can you say that? Now, when I have automech parts in hand. No, your timing is absurd, your wit, witless. Do tend to differ. Seems to me we're persevering, demonstrating a mixture of aplomb, grit, and tenacity even. Last I checked, our infrastructure is still plugging away, and our people are too. But it's not everyone, is it? I'm sure it's not. The majority of my subjects are steadfastly loyal, resolute, right as rain. Things are fine. Everyone's fine. They deserve better. Huh. They do, don't they? I've tried to tell myself it's better to die a subject of the Great Protectorate than live a life driven by freedom, but you may be right. Regardless, now that we're all traitors, they really don't need my permission, but if they want it, they shall have it. My former subjects are free to live an empty life with Auntie's choice. I'll make an announcement. Order them to depart for Fairfield, but I will be staying.
Mental refreshment centers are
Should
there
I?
to help you.
Haven't I failed them enough for one lifetime? No. I will stay here and loyally await the judgment I richly deserve. Under Protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered. My former subjects jumped at the chance to abandon Westport. They don't need me. Due to insufficient zeal in defense against. I suppose my duty to my people remains, whether here or in Fairfield. All right. I'll go. Unsure how I'll endure such an empty existence. Perhaps, if I offer my old subjects periodic advice, our sense of community may somehow, despite the wiles of commercialism, remain. All right then. Suppose it's time to make my announcement.